it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side, going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a stormy Wednesday. I am Brandon Beam, hanging out with our guy, Dave Biddle of Bucknuts, and of course, Rhyme Time. Jacob Reimer behind the glass. Bids, happy Wednesday to you, my friend. Were you staying dry today?
Staying dry, Beamer. I was taking a nap during the small rainfall that we had. So, yeah, definitely staying dry. And I think we needed that. It's been like 95 all week, which is not
when
good.
You say that. I
am old, though. I am. You guys are not, but I am old. So I can
I said that to
very
myself,
easily
too.
act old.
I was FaceTiming Meredith and Willie today. They're up in Michigan hanging out at the lake. And Meredith's like, where are you at right now? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Where am I at? I'm in our living room. She's like, it's so dark. I thought you were like upstairs taking a nap in our bedroom with like the blackout curtains. I'm like, no, it's getting ready to have a nice little storm here. And then you knew it was bad, like when you can hear the thunder and you could hear the thunder on the other end of the FaceTime. She's like, man, it's really coming down. And I said, yeah, we needed it. We needed it. And we did. We did need it because I feel like for the last 10 days, we've got nothing but sultry weather. So, got a crew game tonight. Not going to that, but I feel like everybody was worried about the heat. Now you're going to have to worry about the rain for the crew a little bit later on. But hey, man, we'll take it. We'll take it when we can get it for sure.
That's right. I mean, like I love summer, but like when it gets to like 95 and the Ohio humidity feels like it's 120, I'm like, oh, geez, maybe I don't like summer as much as I thought because I would rather be cold than hot because you at least can like just throw layers on, you know. As we were saying the other day, it's like in the summer you only can take so many layers off before you get arrested.
Yes,
so
that's true.
Give me the cold, the cold over the extreme hot.
Yeah, for sure. But it was a nice little cool down that we had here. So hopefully majority of the storms are past. I think we're supposed to get some here over the next couple of hours, but I think the evening's supposed to be looking pretty good on that part. I was doing a show with Murph yesterday of Bucknuts. I'm doing a show with Murph again tomorrow. I've got you in tonight. It's the Bucknut show.
The Bucknuts takeover this week. I love it, man.
For these next couple of days, which is always fun. We got a great show lined up for you here this morning. I was reading an article on ESPN today. Impressions of rookies, first-round draft picks so far within their respective NFL organizations. We'll get into that, obviously highlighting a bunch of Buckeyes taken in the first round. So we'll get into that coming up here in our next segment around 6:17. Bids, you wrote an article on Congress, so we're going to get to know.
Did I? I don't know if that's how I would articulate it.
So
I wrote an article on Congress.
United States Congress with Bids coming up at 6:30. It is in conjunction with Ohio State Athletics, though, so we'll go over some of that a little bit later on. Buckeye Hoops fans, book your tickets already to San Diego and the latest bracketology. Also, some NCAA basketball changes down the pipe, which I know that Reimer is excited for and also dreading both of those changes that could be happening. We've got more tampering happening, of course, in college football. The day it ends in a Y, so, of course, we got more of that. We'll go over the Buckeye over-under in detail. I know you were doing that on your show a little bit earlier, so we're just going to double up on that topic tonight. 25 hardest places to play in the new EA Sports game. So all kinds of good stuff coming up for you. But Pat and I were talking about yesterday, Bids, and I kind of wanted to get your opinion on this, and it goes back to our fan poll yesterday, which you could have voted for on 971thefan.com or on Twitter, but that is long gone. It was behind the Ohio State wide receiver room. Which position group do you think will be Ohio State's biggest strength this fall? Quarterback, linebacker, defensive back, or others? I think there's a very good argument to be made surrounding a lot of these positions at Ohio State, especially in the position groups, but I just wanted to know where you're going on that. Outside of the wide receiver room, because I think that's a fairly easy one to point to with Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate and Brandon Inniss, Mylan Graham, all these guys over there in that wide receiver room. I think you would rank that probably number one. But for you, outside of that wide receiver group, where are you kind of going? What do you look at as the strength on this football team before we get to camp here? I
would go with the secondary. Now, I really like the linebackers. I know they do. They love their top three linebackers with Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, and Peyton Pierce. But despite the fact you're losing Denzel Burke, Lathan Ransom, and Jordan Hancock, I think BIA is going to be BIA again, best in America in the secondary. I really do, because you look at some of the guys that are going to step it up to bigger roles, like Jermaine Matthews is going to be stepping in to a starting corner role. He basically was a starter during the playoffs. You had Denzel Burke, IGB, and Matthews that really split time.
Just a side note on Jermaine Matthews. Yeah. I'm excited to see him get unleashed, because ever since he came along as a freshman, like you could see that he had the dog in him. Like he wasn't afraid. He's a Winton Woods guy. He's a Cincinnati guy, and those guys typically come with a lot of big edge to them. And you got to see him at the tail end of last year, obviously playing some spot time in the regular season, but for that role to be his and his alone, which he can come into his own as a full-time starter, I am thrilled to see what he can do in a regular season and what we're expecting to be a deep playoff run yet again.
And they've got some depth behind him. Like the Jermaine Matthews of last year is going to be probably Aaron Scott or Devin Sanchez. Like you've got 5-star corners. I know Devin Sanchez is a true freshman. Normally I wouldn't throw him in there.
There's a lot of hype around him too.
He's a different one though, man. Yeah, you're right. He physically is ready, mentally is ready. And Devin Sanchez, I don't think, if they have an injury, he'll be ready to start if he needs to, but he doesn't need to start this year. But Aaron Scott's another one. Then safety. Okay. You got Caleb Downs, the best defensive player in college football, in my opinion. Who's going to start opposite him? I think it'll be Jalen McClain, but Malik Hartford could be the guy there. Either way. And then you got a good backup there. Whoever loses that battle is going to be your top backup safety, whether it's Malik Hartford or Jalen McClain. And who's going to take over for Jordan Hancock in the slot? Jordan Hancock had a great year last year. I think Lorenzo Styles Jr. is going to have a really good final year in college football, being that slot corner / safety. But they have other options, man. You can move Jermaine Matthews in there. He took some reps in there. And if one of those other outside corners is ready, you could use Bryce West in there. You could use Miles Lockhart. But I do think Lorenzo Styles Jr. as a fifth-year senior is going to hold that job down. So, man, it's and I like the offensive line, too. I really like this offensive line. I really like the linebackers. But to answer your question, Beamer, I'm going with the defensive backs.
It's so interesting how you say that, because Pat, when we were talking about it, he broke it down from cornerback and then a safety position, and he was a little bit weary of, and everybody can have an opinion. We obviously haven't gotten to camp yet to see what these guys can do in the first year under Matt Patricia. Pat was a little bit weary about who's going to be next to Caleb Downs, and not weary into the fact that it's going to fall off a cliff, but also to the same time saying I'm just, you have Caleb Downs, which is the ultimate answer, and any college football coach would sign up to coach that guy. But that was kind of Pat's answer. So I was interested to see if you guys had a conversation about that.
We have not, but I see what he's saying. But you have Caleb Downs. I think either Jalen McClain or Malik Hartford is going to be a good starter. Not just they'll be okay. They won't suck. I think one of those will be good, not great.
That is not the standard. So standard is the standard, and that's not the standard.
Exactly. You have the best, in my opinion, the best defensive player in college football is one of your safeties. One of those guys will be good, and then you have depth there. And I think Fahim Delane, as a true freshman, can provide depth there. It's going to be interesting, though, because Lathan Ransom, Beamer.
Yeah. That's my guy.
He had a great year last year. And Lathan was always a good player, but Lathan as a fifth-year senior took it to another level. Mm-hmm. So whoever's taking over for him is not going to be Lathan Ransom.
I don't know.
Even if Jalen McClain's going to be really good, he's not going to be Lathan Ransom right away.
It was so nice in that playoff run. And just remember the 3 weeks of smoke, between the Michigan game and then what you got to see as the best team in college football being failed in prime time against Tennessee in that slaughter fest. Lathan took it to a whole nother level, and we gave a lot of flowers, and they were all due to Cody Simon. But to have those guys, to have Jack Sawyer and JT be your final year guys on the outside of the defensive line, to have Denzel Burke on the outside, to then have Cody Simon play the way that he was in the playoffs, to have Caleb Downs, one of the best players in America, kind of roaming. To your point, Lathan Ransom had such an unbelievable run, and really his entire final season at Ohio State, but he cranked it up an entirely different notch when they got to that final college football playoff run. He was just throwing body shots all over the place. The Oregon game, you can go back and look. The goal line stand. I'm still not how they didn't review that for targeting, but I don't care about that. We have talked about plenty of times how we saw one play of Arch Manning in Texas in the Cotton Bowl, and that was because of Lathan, and then he stumbled a lot. Didn't see him again. And then in the final game that we saw against Notre Dame, he was also all over the place. So he elevated it to a different level. And I'm not saying that, whoever is going to step up for him is going to be playing at that level day number one, but that's the standard that you're looking at, because his play during his entire final season was out of control.
And you look at that playoff run, and I might or might not have watched all 4 playoff games 30 times. Yeah. But seriously,
which one's your favorite to go back and watch?
I go back and forth. Do you have? Because I'll go Notre Dame just because if they do everything they did and they lose to Notre Dame, it's all for naught. But it's hard to pick against Oregon. You could make an argument for any of the games.
I think I lean Tennessee, because I think without the springboard of Tennessee and just the way that game was, They were obviously shot out of a cannon. I think it was the first drive of the game. Cody Simon cracked Nico's helmet.
Yes.
Hey, welcome up here to the north. Welcome to the cold. And credit to Nico.
To Neyland North.
Yes, exactly. I know that they had plans to dump the goalposts into the Olentangy. That'll have to wait for another day.
Yeah.
But I think that was my favorite. Just given all the pressure around this team and then to see them kind of springboarded and launched after that performance, that to me was, I think, my favorite.
The Silver Bullets were just absolutely just killing people throughout the playoffs. Like they were like laying hard shots, cracking helmets. You know, we did not see, you said like there was one maybe that maybe should have been, you know, we didn't see any targeting penalties.
No.
Zero. They were like, most of the time they were like laying hard shots on guys, but there were legal shots, like right in the chest, and like they were just coming in, just wrecking shop. And like the way that defense, how physical they played, without getting any 15-yard penalties, was huge. And like I also think, Beamer, it's interesting. Like, wasn't that long ago? Fans were like, has the game passed Mickey Marotti by?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's what I saw.
Yeah, that was
I saw Ohio State
3 years ago. We were talking about that,
or even like I think even after the 2023 season. And then like what I saw in the playoffs was Ohio State was the fresher team, the more physical team.
Yeah. They
were in better shape than any of those other 4 teams. So credit to Mickey Marotti.
They just imposed their will and wore people down.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, it was pretty impressive. So you can always get in the YouTube chat, youtube.com, go to 971 The Fan, chime in. Do you have a favorite of the 4 games of the playoff run? Which one was your favorite? Or I should say, which one has the most rewatchability to you? Because I do think there's an argument to be made about all 4. Like, I'm not going to...
First half of Oregon is hard to beat.
Yes.
You looked at Dan Lanning is like this 34-0, and it looks like someone shot his dog and then shot him again.
Oh,
it's
no.
like, geez,
that
it was
first possession
hilarious.
with the G. I mean, you open with the G play, and then 2 plays later, JJ splitting the defenders. Like, yeah, that's as good as it gets. That's as good as it gets right there. What's been the impression for the first rounders from Ohio State? What's it been like so far in their early careers in the NFL? We'll get into that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town-properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hot and humid and stormy on this Wednesday, and some of those storms bringing hail, high winds, and very heavy rain. Temperatures around 90 degrees. Overnight down to the low 70s, a warm and muggy start. And again, we'll see showers and storms popping up later in the day. Some could be strong to severe. Temperatures around 90 once again. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
The best damn radio show in the land. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hey, you can join Rothman and Ice this Friday for a special live broadcast as we kick off the 2025 Beat the Heat Fan Drive. The guys are going to be live from the Westerville Fire Station at 400 West Main Street, and we're asking you to help a neighbor in need. Bring a new Box fan to donate, and as a thank you, the first 100 people who drop off a fan will receive a pair of tickets to the Cardell Jones charity softball game at Huntington Park on July 19th. You can help Central Ohio stay cool this summer. It's the Beat the Heat Fan Drive in partnership with 10 TV, Life Care Alliance, and, of course, us right here on The Fan. So I like to have NFL Network on here. Pat and I were having fun. It was like a game back in 2018 between the Rams and the Vikings last night. He's like, oh, yeah, the Rams win this game. I'm like, well, Jared Goff was your quarterback, and I think they went to the Super Bowl that year. We're having a Super Bowl replay of Super Bowl 51, and if you're bad with your Roman numerals, this was the game in which the Atlanta Falcons were up 28-3, and currently there's 3:38 left on the clock. The Falcons had a 3rd and 23 at the 35-yard line, got called for a holding penalty, are punting it inside of their own, not their own 50, on the opposing 50. They're on the Pats 45.
I had forgotten about this.
I had too.
Not the game, but I forgot that it was this close, or that they had an 8-point lead this late. Like, I thought like it got tied like before this. This is crazy. So if they just run the ball on that 3rd and 25,
kick the field goal, you're up 11, you're good.
Yeah, you're good. And then you were up by 11 and you win the Super Bowl. They'll never get over that. It's one thing to lose the Super Bowl. That sucks. Like the Bengals Rams a couple years ago, you know, it was like, the Bengals had a chance, but it wasn't like the Bengals
call.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It wasn't like the Bengals had the game like won. I never felt like they had the game won. If you're a Falcons fan, you're up 28-3. You feel like you got that game won. For you to then lose that, man, they might not. He might never get back to a Super Bowl beamer.
That stinks. Yeah, it stinks and it stings at the same time. Thank for everybody, too, for hopping in the YouTube chat. Phil, we were just talking about the college football playoff and which 4 games of that run you enjoy the most. Shout out to Phil. Says, Tennessee, most fun. Oregon, most satisfying. Texas, best game / jaw-dropping. Yes, the last 2 minutes in that game were pretty satisfying. And then Notre Dame, the icing on the cake. Again, the Notre Dame game was for the national championship game. On the other side is an Ohio guy in Marcus Freeman as an ex-Buckeye who had that program rolling, who lost to Northern Illinois earlier in the season, then came back, went undefeated, ran the table, took out some monsters on their way. Again, I have no qualms with anything that you're gonna go with right there, but I can make an argument for all 4.
Seriously. And there's no wrong answer here. I think Phil in our YouTube chat, as you mentioned, has it best. I would just watch all 4. You give yourself about 10 hours. You're going to fast forward through the commercials in halftime. Give yourself about 10 hours. Watch all 4 of them.
You don't need to watch the full Oregon game, too. You could watch the first 30 minutes and be done with that.
I might or might not have done that many times, Beamer.
Yeah, I think that was smart. I was reading this on ESPN today, and this is a good article. It chronicles all 32 first-round NFL draft picks and just the first kind of feelers out of how these players are doing inside of their first season in the NFL. First Buckeye that was taken off the board, obviously wide receiver Emeka Egbuka. Now, we've talked a lot about Emeka, and I think personally think he's going to be a great fit down in Tampa Bay. No matter which team took him, I think that he was going to be destined for greatness. But I think down there in Tampa, they've got something humming with Baker and the boys. So here's what was written about Emeka Egbuka and the first kind of first feelings that they've had with him in his first offseason as a rookie. He said Egbuka is going to have a big role in the Bucs offense, especially with Chris Godwin still recovering from ankle surgery. And even after, he has shown up a ton in the short passing game, really helping Tampa Bay stretch the field horizontally and at times looking like a running back once the ball's in his hands. But he's also been on the end of some big plays downfield. Baker Mayfield said, the thing that sticks out is how cerebral he is. He's so smart. Right now, I think we could plug and play him at every wide receiver spot. He understands the offense that well. That's just him being a pro already. And I think it was Austin and I doing a show a couple of weeks ago where we had that Baker Mayfield cut where he's kind of just gushing about Emeka. And it's not a surprise to me at all that already just a couple of months in that Tampa Bay fans are probably swooning about Emeka and just the type of player that they received. And their GM was like super pumped. It was like, we had him as the number 1 wide receiver on the board. Like we are thrilled to have him down here in Tampa.
That's the thing. He is a very safe pick. I don't want to say bust proof because you have to factor injuries.
Yeah,
if you take injuries off the table, he is bust proof. Like he will be, if he doesn't have like a catastrophic injury or something, Beamer, he's going to be at the very least a good NFL player for the next decade.
Yeah.
If you can get that like mid first round, toward the later ends of the first round. I mean, that is like exactly what you want. It reminds me a little bit of Jackson Smith and Jigba a few years ago. I was thinking he's the safest pick in this draft. I don't know if he's going to be a star, but look at him now. He's kind of breaking out as a star. I don't know if Emeka's going to be a star, but I know he's going to be a really good NFL player for the next decade, and maybe he will be a star.
Well, I mean, you have to think, too, what they have down there. Mike Evans, a guy who, was it 10 straight seasons of 1,000 yards? Like whatever it was on the last offensive play of the game during the regular season, them trying to get him that, which was one of the more dramatic moments of the NFL season. And then Chris Godwin, who's coming off of that ankle surgery. Like, it's a great wide receiver room to be in. Chris Godwin, consummate professional. And Mike Evans, one of the most underrated wide receivers that I've seen in my lifetime. Like, constantly an all-pro guy, constantly a Pro Bowler, and just every year it's like, yep, Mike Evans going to get 1,000 yards, like just so under the radar.
I heard some people like when they took Emeka, like, why are they taking like a wide receiver? They've got Evans, they've got Godwin. Like, well, I mean, Evans probably has what, as great as he is, a future Hall of Famer. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that was a smart, especially if you're a best player available guy. Even if you didn't need a wide receiver, and I think they did. They needed a third wide receiver, and they needed a young wide receiver. But even if you didn't, best player available is how I would advise every NFL team to do it instead of reaching for needs, which is what the Bengals usually do.
Sometimes the Bengals reach for Mike Evans. It's 11
years. And sometimes the Bengals will reach for a need and then completely treat that player like garbage. I don't know what are we doing. What are we doing down in Cincinnati? What are we doing?
Do we have an update on the Shamar Stewart situation yet? Or
jeez, no.
Has there been any news?
No, I guarantee he will sign eventually. But it's just so stupid. It's stupid. It's like the whole thing, like they waited to like...
You got over the hurdle, too. Like you signed Jamar and you signed T, the thing that nobody thought Mike Brown would do. And then it was the compounding, I'm going to say errors, but you drafted Shamar Stewart, who people had fun with on draft night. It's like, man, he's had 3.5 sacks in his college career. And you're taking him as a first rounder. And then you get the whole Trey Hendrickson saga. It's like, you should have won the offseason with re-signing your 2 stud wide receivers, and now you're just lopped back into this mess.
It's like if you're a Cincinnati Bengal and you're a quarterback or a wide receiver, they will take care of you. If you're any other position, good freaking luck.
Yeah, good luck, pal. Coming in at number 24, Donovan Jackson, second Buckeye taken off the board for the Minnesota Vikings. Here's what was written from him. Said it's difficult for an offensive lineman to stand out in no contact practices. So the most important development for Jackson is that he worked with the first team at left guard for the majority of spring practices. Part of that can be attributed to white guard Will Free's ongoing recovery from a fractured injured right leg, and Blake Brandel, last season's starter at left guard and Jackson's primary competition at that position, has filled in for Freeze on the right side. But there is every reason to believe that Jackson has an inside track to emerge from training camp. Kevin O'Connell, Vikings head coach, had this to say: "It does give you some real beneficial options to see guys progress through the learning phase." And all of a sudden, you've got 3 or 4 guys that are maybe a little more versatile than we thought. Donovan Jackson, very versatile. We saw it firsthand here at Ohio State.
Yeah, definitely. Donovan Jackson, it's interesting, man. Like, if it's not for those injuries, he never goes to left tackle. And he's having a good year as a guard. Do you think he would have been like a 3rd-round pick? He wouldn't have been a 1st-rounder. He was projected as 3rd, 4th round, and maybe he would have gotten the 2nd round. Look at Donovan Jackson.
Yeah, and we talked through the whole draft process. Like, is someone going to take him as a left tackle? Because he was pretty good.
Really good. I know. It's crazy. Like, we'll never know. It's like the debate, like, if they didn't lose to Michigan, would they have still won the national championship? We'll never know. But yeah, man, I mean, no one had Donovan Jackson going in the 1st round. I didn't even see him in the 2nd round really early, like with all the mock drafts that came out like midway through the college football season. And he didn't just move to left tackle and like hold the fort down. He played well. So good for Donovan Jackson.
28, next Buckeye off the board, 3rd in the 1st round, Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle. Williams was a limited participant throughout the offseason program as the team was being cautious about his health after coming after a long championship college football season. Williams said he has felt great vibes from the team. He could play a big role right now, and he's expected to fill in for starting defensive tackle Aleem McNeil as he recovers from a torn ACL that ended his 24 season. Dan Campbell had this to say about Tyleik: "Knowing what we know and where he's at and what he can do, we like what he is. He is smart. He can get lined up. I know he's been grinding in the rehab, the training, so that's good." It seems like a perfect plug-and-play fit for the Detroit Lions and the kneecap biters up there with Man Campbell.
I love it. And like the Lions, I've always kind of liked them because of Barry Sanders and Chris Spielman. And, I kind of like their uniforms. I think Tyleik Williams is a really good pick for them. They also have Taylor Decker up there. Mm-hmm. Jonah Jackson obviously went to the Bears. Yep. Your Bears, right?
That's why.
Bears.
That's why I'm like, oh man, Donovan's going to be a stud with the Vikings, and I know that Tyleik's just going to kill the Bears with the Lions.
You guys have beefed up. You guys, like the Bears have beefed up their offensive line. I think Jonah was a nice pick.
Yeah.
You got Tooney. Is it Tooney?
Tooney, yeah.
Tooney, yeah.
From Dayton, from Centerville.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, went to Alter, so kind of a Benedict Arnold there. But
I was going to say, okay.
Yeah.
And then didn't go to Ohio State.
Yeah, NC State guy.
Maybe they didn't offer him is why he didn't go to Ohio State.
Yeah, he's having a nice career. I think 5 Super Bowls for him.
It's not bad.
As long as he's with the Bears, he's not getting the 6. I'll tell you that much. And then 32 coming from the Chiefs. Of course, last pick in the 1st round being Josh Simmons. Says Simmons has been working as the starting left tackle during offseason practices. Even though these are non-contact sessions, it still represents progress. He's coming off a torn patellar injury, and his timetable to return to play was uncertain when the Chiefs drafted him. Now, minus a setback, it appears that he's on schedule to be their starter when the season begins. We weren't quite sure how much we were going to be able to get out of him, but he looks strong, says Andy Reid. You can tell that he rehabbed. He did a nice job with it. The fact that you're going to have Josh Simmons being the starting tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs, that's a pretty impressive play, and they went up and they decided to get him with a lot of not controversy surrounding Josh Simmons, but a torn patellar is obviously a very big injury to recover from.
Yeah, and would have been a lock to be a top 10 pick, I would think, if not for that injury. So if he's able to stay healthy, that's a steal for the Chiefs.
Bids is going to explain to us what Congress can do to help the Buckeyes and the rest of the college football world coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
This summer, save more with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves for $2 or less all season long.
Like Meyer potato chips?
Yep.
Hamburger buns?
Of course.
Ketchup?
Absolutely.
How about Meyer lemonade? That's my favorite.
Yep, that too. Plus pickles, baked beans, cheese slices for sandwiches. It's your favorite Meyer brand must-haves for $2 or less all season long.
That's a good deal better.
Only at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meyer app.
Common Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain inter-office emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I've been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If you still have a weird rash from jumping in Mirror Lake, we can be friends. This is the Buckeye Show.
We are the Buckeye Show, brought to you by our good friends over at Coors Light. When those mountains are blue, you know, those suckers are as cold as the Rockies. I have a couple of those tonight. That sounds pretty good. Wednesday evening. Watch the Crew. Watch the Reds, which we'll get you to coming up. Top of the 8 o'clock hour. I know you were pumped about Chase Burns last night.
Yes, sir. About time we have like a young prospect to get excited about in Cincinnati. I can't even believe it, man. We're talking about like Ellie De La Cruz and yeah, I know, but we're gonna enjoy it while we can. We have Chase Burns for the rest of this year, and in theory, 6 years after that, we have Ellie De La Cruz for exactly 4.5 more years. In theory, because tonight is the halfway mark of the season. This will be game 81 for the Reds, and I love Ellie De La Cruz. I've never been a big, this is my favorite player guy. He's my favorite player. He's awesome, and I know he'll be wearing either Yankee pinstripes or Dodger blue here in 4.5 years, but we're going to enjoy it while we can.
Well, I mean, we've been out of the Votto contract for a while now. Pony up and get another person into a 12-year deal.
I like it. The problem is Boris is his agent, so you could offer like 10 years, like $3 trillion, and Boris is like, we're going to test the market.
No, we're going to get 12 years, $5 trillion out of the Yankees.
Exactly.
And plus, too, with the Yankees losing out on the Juan Soto deal, they've got cash to spend.
They do,
and they're not afraid of it.
And apparently, the Dodgers can just do whatever they want. They can just say, okay, we're going to pay you like $5 trillion, but we're at $4 trillion is going to be like, coming to you like the year 2050 or something.
The wild thing that I was reading about the Dodgers, and I forget when I was reading this bids, it was a couple of months ago. It was before the baseball season started. It said that the Dodgers are so popular internationally that corporate sponsors of the Los Angeles Dodgers were buying up real estate in other teams' baseball stadiums. So, like, let's say, for example, I don't know, the Angels or the A's or someone, that is maybe not necessarily very good, and they have ad billboards available in their stadium because so many people are watching Dodgers games that these international companies that were sponsors of the Dodgers, they were spending too much money on the Dodgers, like corporate sponsorships, that they were spending it with other teams because they knew that they played their division opponents or whoever, that they were going to go to these ballparks and get eyes on them. So like other companies were buying up space just because of the Dodgers, and like it tells you how many revenue shares that they have, like all these different revenue streams. Like they're literally printing money.
It makes sense. I mean, like the Yankees right now, I mean, obviously having Chase Burns make his debut last night helped the cause. A lot of Reds fans came out, but almost a packed house last night. It'll probably be close to packed tonight. It's like when the Cubs come to town, man. You're talking about like the Dodgers. Like if you're going
40,000 there last night.
Right around there. And it's like when the Cubs come to town. Like they like bring a ton of fans. So if you're like advertising for the Cubs, you might want to advertise in Great American Ballpark when the Cubs are coming to Cincinnati. It's the same thing with the Yankees, the Dodgers, and especially the Cubs being a Midwest team. They move the needle a lot. But yeah, man, it makes a lot of sense when you say it. Like if you're like advertising for the Dodgers and you want to like have like an ad for the Anaheim Angels, like you're probably gonna have more Dodger fans than Angels fans like in the house, which is, imagine if you're an Angels fan, like you're sitting there, you had Shohei Ohtani, you got nothing for him, and he goes across town to play for the Dodgers. I still can't believe they didn't trade him, man. You could have got like a lot for Ohtani. They were not in the playoff hunt at all. I don't know what the Angels were thinking.
Well, I mean, we're going to look back on that and said Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani were on the same team, and they didn't do anything with them. So, yeah, sorry, A's fans. That's no fun. Hey, I was reading this article by a guy named Dave Biddle on Bucknuts yesterday. It said, Ross Bjork, we still need Congress. College Sports Commission was recently created to oversee the implementation of the House versus NCAA settlement, which allows schools to directly compensate their athletes. The CSC includes a clearinghouse called NIL Go, which must approve any athlete's NIL deal that is over $600. Ross Bjork, actually, when he was talking, it was a couple of weeks ago now, right? That 75-minute press conference bids.
Yeah, 2 weeks from Thursday. Yeah,
Ross Bjork is as in front of anything in the NIL world as you will find as an athletic director in college athletics. Still opining to the fact that they can't do this themselves. They are still going to need congressional help.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He when he talks about this, but with the House settlement, he sounds confident that hey, if somebody does try to challenge this, if a kid's NIL deal is rejected by this NIL Go clearinghouse, which I frankly don't think would ever hold up, but let's hope it does, because a federal judge, to Ross's point, did hold this up, and this is a settlement between the NCAA and the House, and in theory it sounds good, Beamer, but if you're an athlete and you get your NIL deal rejected and you take that to court, I can't imagine that you would lose that case. I think
they're not losing many in court right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The Supreme Court, the House settlement, great. It sounds great and all, but the Supreme Court has already spoken on this matter. It wasn't NIL directly, but it adjacent at the very least. And it was 4 years ago. You can look it up. NCAA versus Alston, and they ruled that you cannot prevent an athlete from profiting in addition to what they get for their scholarship. And that's exactly what this is. Even though they didn't mention NIL, that's exactly what this is. And that's why NIL, that opened the floodgates, that Supreme Court decision. So, yeah, so Ross Bjork sounds confident that if something happened, it would hold up. But then in the next breath, he says, but we still need Congress. So that tells me he knows, even though it sounds good, he knows someone's going to probably challenge this eventually if any of these deals get rejected. They'll probably
it's not
win.
That they probably won't. They will challenge
that's
this.
why I don't know why I even said it like that. I've been saying that for sure. The first time a kid's NIL deal gets rejected, let's say Carson Beck's making $4 million going to Miami this year, right? Yep. Let's say they say, well, that's not market value or whatever they say. You can't make $4 million. You want to make $1 million. Carson Beck's going to be like, okay, cool. I'll take the $3 million pay cut. No. He'll take him to court and he will win.
Yes,
and that's the thing. I don't understand when people think well, this House settlement, that'll hold up in court. No, it won't. No, it will not. And we'll find out. That's the thing. People are like, well, we'll find out.
Just wait.
We will find out.
It will happen.
For sure. Too bad we can't bet on that. Ryan Time was asking me before the show. He's like, you doing any bets for the NBA draft tonight? I'm like, I haven't looked at it yet.
Hooper Flag, number one overall pick.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. What we get?
What's my juice?
500,000.
What's my juice on that?
And I'm like, can we bet on this, though? Can we bet the first time this NIL Go clearinghouse rejects an NIL deal? Yeah, can I bet my house on that, or at least Beamer's house?
Yeah, for sure. Yes. One thing, the court cases will not be over. As soon as somebody has their NIL deal rejected by this, they will go to court over this, and they more than likely will probably win, whether it comes via settlement or litigation. To you, and Ross has a lot on his plate as the athletics director here at Ohio State. We know that. I mean, we've talked about how to get a shot at a better atmosphere, Ohio Stadium, a better atmosphere, going head-to-head with Fox, going head-to-head with Big Noon, right? NIL stuff kicking in. To you, what should he be looking at? What's next up for Ross, and what's a majority of his time look like in his bucket? What's his day to day, you think, looking like, and what's he's most focused on at this point?
Yeah, there's so much. I like his plan for renovating the Horseshoe. They're not going to do anything major. That's going to be every year they're going to do something, and I like that. The Horseshoe needs to be renovated, and it will be. But I think the biggest thing, Beamer, even though the TV contract runs through 2029, if I'm Ross Bjork, I am laying the groundwork now. And I'm not making threats. I understand him not wanting to make threats. Ohio State throwing its weight around. As he was asked about that by my friend Dan Hope at the press conference, and he was like, well, it depends on what does that even mean, throw our weight around? I would describe throwing Ohio State.
We will leave this conference. That's what.
Yeah, and that would, you'd be playing poker then. Ohio State's not going to leave the Big Ten, but listen, I mean, I would at least try to throw. And what does that mean? What does throw your weight around mean? I would say I would
we've said
make
it
sure
for forever, haven't we?
Yeah,
I wish Ohio State would throw their weight around.
Yes, and I would say let them call your bluff. Be like, listen, Notre Dame needs a little bit of company as a powerhouse independent. Now Ohio State's never going to do that, but at the very least, I think Ross Bjork needs to lay the groundwork that all right. We're not going to ask for a bigger cut. We're not going to threaten to leave the conference, at least not yet. But there needs to be some assurances that we're only going to have a maximum of X amount of games per year at home that are noon. Whether it's 2 games, 3 games, whatever. Because Ohio State is now the guinea pig for the big noon kickoff. Ohio State gets the best ratings. And really, if Ohio State wanted to, you look at Clemson and Florida State Beamer, they're getting a bigger piece of the pie in the ACC.
Yeah.
Ohio State easily could take that path. I don't think they're going to. They should, at the very least, have some assurances with this next contract. And Tony Petitti and the Big Ten need to back them on this, being the cash cow, is okay, we'll do everything. We'll be a team player. We can't have all of our marquee games at home at noon.
We can't play 6 in a row to end the season.
Thank you. Yeah. 2. I would put it 2 maximum, maybe 3.
I would be okay with that. And I'm a noon game lover. I'm a noon game guy.
I like noon games. Doing what we do, it's great.
It's the best because you're done with your day by 5:30, and then you're off for your Saturday night, and you can watch the remainder of the 3:30 games, and then you can sit at home with a cold Coors Light in your hand for the 8 o'clock games. It's fantastic. But that's selfish, and I understand why Ohio State fans are done with the noon games. I really do. There is no reason at all why that Texas game shouldn't be a night game. And I give Ross credit trying to move that. You did everything you could. You couldn't move it to that Saturday at 8 o'clock because TV networks have already had their discussions and their partners of what they're playing that evening. But give them credit because they did try to move it. Now, Texas saying, nah, we don't want any part of that. Why would we want to delay ourselves for 36 hours or 34 hours, whatever the case may be, and do that? I get that. I understand that from Texas as well, but it should have never been a situation at all that the season opener at Ohio Stadium was Texas versus Ohio State at noon. It's only the most 2 talked about programs, Texas being one of them, and then Ohio State, what are they going to do this year? How can they revamp their team? Can they get back to a college football playoff? Can they win another national championship? It's only the 2 biggest teams in America facing each other week number 1.
I mean, there's a multitude of reasons it's dumb that this game is at noon. One thing that probably doesn't get talked about enough, it'll probably be, if you look at recent history, it'll probably be in the 90s.
Yeah.
Perhaps high 90s, and humidity in Ohio, it's going to feel like it's 120.
It will be
sure.
in the 90s.
I remember I was just a fan at the time. It was 2000. It was Cooper's last year. They led off the season. It was the first game of the year. They played Fresno State the year 2000. They had just renovated the Horseshoe. Dude, it was 100 degrees. And people were literally passing out in Ohio Stadium. By the way, Fresno State had David Carr as their quarterback.
Nice.
Future first overall pick of the draft, and Buckeyes took care of business over. But I remember that is as hot as I can remember it. And there's been many, many times it's been super hot in the Horseshoe. So for a variety of reasons, this game should be at 8 o'clock. Of course, they screwed it up, and hopefully it's not 95 degrees that day, but it probably will be.
Yeah, I remember sitting first game of the year, second game of the year, way up in C-Deck against UNLV, and I'm like, boy, I am just roasting here. If I wondered what it was like to be a turkey in the oven during Thanksgiving, it was that game. So, that's not going to be changed, but whatever. Ross has got a lot on his plate. They tried like hell to make it happen. Hey, we got expansion talks, both good and bad in college basketball. We'll tell you about that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Summer is hot, sticky, and buggy. But Modelo is cold, crisp, and smooth. When you're sweating through your shirt and the beach is mad crowded, the lime and salt flavors of a Modelo Chelada hit just right. When the weather's perfect but you're still at work, it's time to clock out and stock up on Modelo. Drink responsibly. Beer and flavored beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
What is dippable and dunkable? And now at Donato's, it's Donato's new chicken dippers. Flavorful boneless chicken breast tenders served up with 7 amazing dipping sauce options, including new garlic parmesan and sweet chili. For a limited time, try new chicken dippers for just $5 on the $5 Pizza Pals menu. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
Buckeye football training camp is coming. Catch live editions of Morning Juice, T-Bone, and Tyvus and Bishop and Friends starting July 31st. They'll be close enough to smell the jock straps. Live on The Fan and YouTube. Yay football.
Get ready to rock. Soft, that is. Nationwide Picnic with the Pops presents Yacht Rock Symphony, Saturday, June 28th, featuring all your favorite 70s and 80s super yacht rock hits on one stage with Ambrosia.
You're the biggest part of me.
Joined by John Ford Coley.
And I'd really love to see it tonight.
And Peter Beckett, the voice of Player. Don't miss this incredible night of hits, ending with a brilliant display of fireworks. June 28th at the Columbus Commons. For tickets, visit picnicwiththepops.com.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Ryan Day's favorite radio show. Probably. Maybe. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
You can always watch the show on YouTube. Go to the YouTube chat real quick. We were just talking about, noon games and everything here at Ohio Stadium. And, I agree primetime games are fantastic, especially for marquee matchups. Craig said this. He said, I'll watch SEC in primetime after Ohio State's games. I don't believe SEC fans are watching Ohio State at Big Noon. The Big Ten is missing a chance to showcase its best to a larger audience. Thank you, Craig.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Again, we don't really talk to like that many SEC fans on this show or maybe in this market. I know that Uncle Bo and the boys, they get to talk to Paul Feinbaum, which I think is as close as we get. But I think that's as good of a synopsis as you're going to find. That's as plain and simple, as good as you're going to get. Because if I'm an SEC fan and I know that my conference is having let's just take example. Like if I'm an Ole Miss fan, all right, I'm a big fan of Lane Kiffin, what he's got, offensive visor guy. Like if we've got a primetime game coming up, and not the Egg Bowl because that's traditionally played on a weeknight, but if I've got a primetime game coming up against Alabama, okay, and there's a game between Vanderbilt and Georgia at noon, or you have Ohio State and name your conference opponent, Illinois at noon. I'm probably watching Vanderbilt and Georgia if I'm an SEC fan and I want to know what I'm doing in my conference. So I think that's a great point by Craig.
Well, it is a great point. And what I don't like, Beamer, is when like Fox will come out and say, well, look at the ratings when Ohio State's on Big Noon. Like, they're really good. Like, okay, are you telling me?
Andy, you put that game at 8 a.m. and they're going to rate through the roof.
Dude, I've said you can put it on like middle of the night, like on a Wednesday. Like, the people will watch Ohio State football.
Ohio State crushes middle of the night Wednesday record for college football.
Exactly, right. Don't tell me the ratings are good. I know they are. Would they be better at 8 o'clock? I guarantee they would be. Like, I don't know by how much, but if you're telling me, the ratings are good. Of course they are. It's Ohio State football. They move the needle more than anybody else. You put that same game at 8 o'clock, it'll do better ratings.
Yeah, of course it will. Like, I know that Tuesday and Wednesday later in the season, they belong to the MAC. Ohio State would shatter MAC records. if you play
little Maction.
If you play, let's protect the Maction during the midweek, all right? Because that's sacred ground. Nobody should step in and do that. According to CBS Sports' Matt Norlander, Rhyme Time, I know that you were pumped about this. I saw you tweeting about this today. The number of college basketball games played in a season is actually set to increase. Norlander reports beginning with the 26-27 season, so that's next college basketball year, not this year, teams can play on 32 occasions. They will not be required, but the move allows programs to schedule more non-conference matchups in any given year. Norlander had this to say: college basketball's regular season is set to expand, barring an unexpected and extremely unlikely vote against that they will be able to play. The Division I Council will approve on Wednesday. That was tonight, an increase from 31 to 32 games. So you sicko, you just picked up one more game in your college basketball arsenal.
Yep, it is the only kind of expansion I will support in college basketball.
Because we also had news, and this was from Pete Thamel, which I thought was fascinating that he was the one reporting this. So was Ross Dellinger. I'm like, these are two football guys breaking NCAA news.
It's like Shefty reporting NBA news.
Right, or like hanging out on PGA Tour Live.
Yes.
Like, just walking around the golf course. The decision on whether or not to expand the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournament for 26 is expected to come in the next few weeks. The expansion would be to no more than 76 schools. The NCAA remains in talks with its media partners. Don't do it.
76?
Yes.
That's not bad. I've heard 96.
I know.
We're talking about 8 more teams, right?
Yes. We talked about an expansion to the playoff of 12 teams.
Beaver Creek math right there.
And
Beaver.
now we're already talking about 16 teams.
I know. Listen, but it's going to happen. And I thought for sure when they were talking about this that it was going to move to 96. I'll take 76 because I know it's fait accompli that we're going to expand. I'm with you. I didn't want to expand more than 64. Although the first 4 in Dayton has been pretty cool, having 68 teams. Yeah, 76, I think like that's too many. I think 68 is good.
It's fine.
I like 64. I'm just glad it's not going to 96.
Yeah,
that was floated again, not yet exactly.
I don't see the need for it. I mean, again, we're arguing and we're bickering about teams on the bubble. And I know that we do the Buckeye Show. Frankly, Ohio State shouldn't have made the NCAA tournament this year. Okay. You lost in the first round of the tournament. You lost to Iowa. You stubbed your toe down the stretch. You don't deserve to be in. Now, if it was a 76-team tournament, they would be in. And we would all be excited the fact that they got into the tournament, but you are expanding on something that doesn't need expansion. It's great the way that it works. It's Tuesday, you get 2 games. It's Wednesday, you get 2 games. And then you get the best 2 days in sports on Thursday and Friday, the opening rounds, and then you're good to go. It's just, there is no need for expansion of the NCAA tournament. Now, I know that they will draw way more revenue, and they're going to get an X amount of millions of dollars more in revenue because of this expansion, but it's been long talked about how they're expanding, and they just don't, frankly, for me, they don't need to do it.
No, maybe they'll take a page out of college football and they'll have like their version of a selection show like every week to just to tick people off.
Actually,
like, this team's a 4 seed right now.
You could actually
should do that.
You could just ask Reimer, and he would tell you.
Of course he would.
Seed line these guys
my own rankings.
They should have him on the show.
They should. They should definitely have him on the show.
A little rhyme time on the selection show that's going to air in like January.
But let me seriously, Reimer, you're as big of a college basketball nut as we can find, and this is saying something like Timmy's a huge college basketball nerd. Evil Bald Colin is a huge college basketball nerd. Like, you out-nerd those guys when it comes to all the metrics around college basketball, and you are opining for the NCAA tournament not to expand.
Yeah, no, I don't want it. You're seeing, like, you're giving the opportunity for teams that were mediocre throughout the whole year to accomplish something and get into the tournament. Like you just mentioned, like Ohio State if they would have got into the tournament last year as a last 4 team in, North Carolina, who got in over them, beat San Diego State by $1 billion in the first 4 games. So who's to say that wouldn't happen as well there? And then, North Carolina goes on to lose, and in the actual tournament, which you will more than likely see with what NIL is and everything. You're not going to see the lower seeds continue to move unless something changes. So you're adding more mediocre teams in. There's going to be less Cinderella runs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily about that. I just think that Cinderella runs from the, what did I say? It's expanding to 76 teams, and we're at 68 right now. The amount of Cinderella teams that you're going to see from those 6 additional or 8 additional teams are added, like it's probably not going to happen.
What's the setup?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Are we going to have like the first 12?
8? I don't know.
Like, how are we doing this?
I think it would be the first 8 in Dayton, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I think it would be the first 8. Like you would have 4 16 matchups, and then you would have 4 11 matchups, because that's what they do. They do the 12 or the 11 in Dayton?
They do. I think it's the 16 and the 11.
Okay, yeah.
Or sometimes a 12. But if you're making a switch to that too, I think it should just be all bubble teams. Like if
agreed,
the 16 seed shouldn't be a part of it. They won their conference. They should be actually in the field.
I agree with that absolutely, because that is their national championship. If you're a 16 seed, you win your tournament.
Oh, you get to place your sticker on the tournament board against Duke or whoever's the number 1 seed.
That's what I love about college football. People are like, well, like so-and-so couldn't win it all. If you're an Indiana Hoosier football fan, you make the college football playoff, that's the equivalent of you guys winning a national championship. You're never going to win a national title in football if you're Indiana. You make the CFP, that makes your season.
You remember when we got through that Friday night where Notre Dame pretty much took it to Indiana on a very snow-filled field up there in South Bend, and everyone's like, see, this is why Indiana shouldn't have got in. And then you fast forward through Saturday's games, and it was like, boy, that was the closest game that we had all weekend.
They sure looked better than Tennessee.
Yeah, they did. They did look better. They looked better in the horseshoe against Ohio State, too.
They did. If not for Caleb Downs, people forget, like, that ended up, 38-15? That was a kind of a close game in the second half. Caleb Downs had that punt return for a touchdown. The Buckeyes, turned it on from there. That was actually, a relatively close game, early in the second half.
Goal line stands. Indiana had a goal line stand against Ohio State. Ohio State had a goal line stand against Indiana. There was all kinds of craziness in that game.
Google Me went to, he went completely, conservative. He was like, we just don't want to get blown out. I was like, Google Me, come on. You got to go for it here a little bit. He was just like, we just don't want to get blown out.
I respect him. I
Google him. All he does is win.
I like Kurt Signetti.
I like him too.
By the way, crazy Joe Lunardi putting together NCAA bracketology at this point. This was released a couple of days ago in the middle of June for bracketology. The Ohio State Buckeyes currently on the men's team, a 6 seed in San Diego. So book your tickets. It is Ohio State versus VCU as an automatic qualifier.
Bam. He had him in as a 4 seed a while back.
Yeah, they've trended down. They have the down arrow next to him, but they're still in.
I was like, really? They're going to be a top 20? Okay.
Yeah, I think in May.
I'll take that.
Yeah, his May rankings, they were 4, and then we fast forwarded to June. I'm like, well, wait, I think it's been pretty good from here from Ohio State.
He was like, I thought they'd get a better guy for their small forward spot than the kid from Germany. Now, if the kid from Germany, the freshman that's coming in, the 6'6" kid, I don't know his name. If he's good, that'll be. Thank you. That's the one. I actually like this roster for Ohio State men's basketball this coming year, but I don't know about the wing. You have Colin White. You have, what's his name again?
Grujic.
Yes, exactly. If one of those guys can step up, I think this is going to be a good team. I like what they have in the front court. I like their back court. Concerned about wing. We need a Micah Parrish from last year. They struck out in the transfer portal last year, Beamer, except for Micah Parrish. He was good. Everybody else was kind of a joke that they got last year.
Yeah, and then you have as well Devin Royal moving from the 4 to the 3. So we'll see how that works for them as well. Hey, here's news to everybody. We've got some more tampering happening in college football between northern and southern schools. We'll get into that in the College Football Pulse next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to sponsor The Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive, benefiting Life Care Alliance. You can help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. How can you help? Purchase new box fans and bring them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station, or you can buy online and ship fans directly to Life Care Alliance. The collection and distribution of fans is to assist residents who are at risk of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway, and you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening, I'm Jacob Reimer. The NBA draft begins tonight with the first round. Duke's Cooper Flagg is expected to go first overall to the Dallas Mavericks. The second round will take place tomorrow. According to reports, the NCAA has announced they will expand the college basketball regular season from 31 to 32 games beginning in the 2026-27 season. This change is due to the restriction caused by multi-team events. In baseball, the Reds go for the series sweeper of the New York Yankees tonight. Brady Singer is on the mound for Cincinnati against Max Fried for the Yankees. First pitch is here at 7:10 and will be found right here on the Fan following the Buckeye Show. And the Guardians go against the Toronto Blue Jays again tonight, and they're off to a better start than last night. They're up 1-0 courtesy of a Jose Ramirez RBI single in the first inning. And the Columbus Crew are in action tonight over at Lower.com Field hosting the Atlanta United FC. They get started at 7:30. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hour 2 of the program for us. We were talking about the college basketball expansion from 31 to 32 games, and you were like, man, what a big difference that could make. If you just make that game, the extra game that you're going to get, sign a 100-year contract, 50 games here at the Shot or wherever Ohio State's playing over the next 100 years, and then 50 games over at UD Arena between Ohio State and Dayton, sign me up. Do a 100-year agreement. Let's go. Home and away every other year. Boom. Good 100-year contract. That's going to be your 32nd game of the year. Sign me up for it in a heartbeat.
I would love that. We would just need to bring the restaurant Dominic's back.
It's just so funny that you mentioned Dominic's. I'm like, that's been closed for forever. And if you had ever been in the Dayton area, and if you had ever gone there, they were known for their, like red sauce, Italian joint, pasta, like chicken parm or whatever you prefer to get. But their garlic dressing on the salads would leave you with just breathing fire. And it was like a big thing. Like if you had ever gone to Dominic's, you got to get the garlic dressing. It's not the same as like St. Elmo's with the cocktail sauce, but kind of for us in Dayton it was. Like it had as
That's
much
exactly
lore.
what it was, yes.
It had as much lore as that did. And I'm like, that restaurant has been closed for forever. I just Googled it. When do you think Dominic's closed?
Gosh, that was a staple when I was growing up. I moved to Columbus when I was the year 2000. Actually, I moved to London and then moved to Columbus like a year later after that because I was working at this little paper that no longer exists in London, Ohio called the Madison Press. I bet Dominic's closed in. I remember Thad Mata taking them there when Ohio State was playing in Dayton. So I'm guessing 2008.
Okay, it's a good guess because we would go like twice a year, and it was such a big deal when we got to go to Dominic's for dinner. Like, it was like, boy, big night out of the town. It was adjacent to Brown Street. Like, you were right down kind of by UD campus. Dominic's closed in the year 2007, so you were right.
Oh, it's pretty close.
Yeah, you were right there.
Thad Mata barely got the boys to have some Dominics.
Dominic's, rest in peace, is old enough to vote right now. It's been gone for 18 years, which is hard to believe. Rhyme time, what do you got for us tonight, buddy?
So it appears we have some more tampering in college football. Now add Illinois head coach Brett Bielema as the latest victim to tampering. He claims Illinois lost one of its best players when their lead running back Josh McCray hit the portal and went down to Georgia. McCray led Illinois with 609 yards and 10 touchdowns on 117 carries last year. Bielema says, wish Josh all the best. He took advantage of that opportunity. What do you guys think needs to be done with this?
Jeez, I don't know where I come down on this, Beamer. Like, for one, like the Wisconsin situation, my first reaction, that's a bad look for Wisconsin. Then again, the kid did sign a 2-year contract. Are we just going to let the kids just breach their contract? So I get it. I like that the Big Ten is backing Wisconsin. I imagine the Big Ten will back Illinois as well. So I get it. It kind of seems, I don't know. It just kind of seems like a bad look to me, but I get it.
I understand this entirely. And I'm going to be so fascinated how that ruling is going to come down. And not really a ruling, but this will be from a judge between Miami and Wisconsin. And I'm fascinated to see the outcome of this because on one hand, it's like, hey, okay, Miami, if we find you in the wrong, then you have gone against what you signed and said you wouldn't do. So that seems like a big deal. And then on the one hand, if they rule it in favor of Miami with the Xavier Lucas, I think is the kid's name, which said, I didn't get in the portal in time, but I'm just going to enroll at Miami, was the story behind that. If they rule in favor of Miami, it's like, well, teams are allowed to tamper and nothing is going to happen to them. So, I mean, it's a long list of tampering, and we know that it goes on. Was it Chuck Martin a couple of years ago where an interviewer was talking to him, and he's like, well, I kind of looked like Alabama stole your kickers. Like, well, that's not how it looked. That's how it was. Like, we're talking about kickers from the MAC going to SEC schools, and we're all upset about it. And a player of importance, like a running back or a cornerback, not to say that kickers aren't important. I mean, special teamers obviously have their role to play as well, but it's just a mess. And until something comes out with this new rules advisory and everybody's playing on the same field, there will be no combatants to tampering because everybody does it. There's the back channels. There's just slide into kids' DMs. They're just calling the kid, be like, hey, what's your thought about coming here for X amount of dollars per year? So, yeah, add it to the long list of tampering between northern and southern schools and really every school around the country in college athletics because it happens all the time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, we know it happens all the time through back channels and sometimes through, not even back channels. They'll just contact them directly, but definitely with advisors, agents, third uncles, and all that. Yeah, it's a dirty business, but I don't know how you can legislate that, though, man. Are they really going to, you think Miami, what would happen if Miami lost that lawsuit? That kid wouldn't have to go back to Wisconsin. Maybe they'd pay, some damages. I don't even know how that would work.
I don't either because I would think that, Wisconsin would obviously get their money back. I think they would get their money back as soon as the kid leaves the school. I don't know. That's why it's so
weird.
It's so interesting and weird to me. All right, well, we paid you to be on campus for a year. Or 2 years. You were only here a year. Now we've wasted a development year on you, and we're not getting monetary return. And I don't know. I don't know how this is all going to work out, but in the future, it will work itself out. I'm not smart enough to say how this is going to work itself out, but there are people working on it that will work itself out for us. Rhyme time, what else you got for us tonight?
Our guy Joel Klatt, he picked 10 games that will shape the 2025 college football season, and his list is from start of the season to the end of the season. It's not in any particular order.
Let me guess. First up on that list is going to be Ohio State versus Texas.
You would be correct. And he also has Ohio State on here 2 more times, at home against Penn State and on the road against the team up north the last week of the season. You also have LSU at Clemson, Michigan at Oklahoma, A&M at Notre Dame, Oregon at Penn State, USC at Illinois, Alabama at Georgia, and LSU at Alabama. How do you guys feel about his selection of games?
I think they're good. I think you can argue that as much heat and smoke that Penn State is getting right now, and it's not necessarily heat, it's just a lot of preseason love, that you could say that the 2 most important games for college football this season coming up this year for Penn State, if they want to accomplish what Michigan accomplished 2 years ago and what Ohio State accomplished last year, if they want to get over the hurdle, if they want to win the national championship, you could argue I think that Penn State has the two most important games of the college football season, because you have Ohio State on the road in Ohio Stadium, and then you get Oregon at home. So you got two hurdles who you weren't able to get past last year, and you both have them coming up in your regular season this year. If Penn State wants to accomplish their dreams, you would think that in one or two, maybe both of those instances, that they would have to get over the hurdle. So I know he was just going by date on this, but if you're looking from like a national scope to just intrigue around the country, I think those are two massive games of the college football season, let alone we know Ohio State, Michigan is huge, and we know that Ohio State versus Texas is huge. Like, we got those. We understand that. We live in Columbus, Ohio, and we do a show called The Buckeye Show. But from a national intrigue perspective, like, I'm looking at Oregon saying, all right, can you finally slay the beast? Can you do it? Can you do it, James?
Yeah, you've been very good against mediocre teams. You've been very bad against good teams. I mean, his record against Ohio State, was he 1-11?
Yeah, it's not good.
1-10, something like that. And it's weird, man. This is going to be the last time Ohio State and Penn State play each other for the next couple of years. They played every year since 1993, since Penn State joined the conference.
And I hate
They're
that,
not going to play
by
next.
the way.
Yeah.
I hate that, and I know that we joke like, oh, who's Penn State rival? They're unrivaled. They don't have any protected rivals. Ohio State, Penn State should always be on the college football calendar.
You're allowed to have a second rival. Exactly. I've always said that. Obviously, we know who Ohio State's main rival is, but like, yeah, we share a state border with Pennsylvania. They have always looked at Ohio State as their main rival. They don't look at Michigan State as their rival, believe it. As much as the Big Ten tried to make that a rival, we're going to make Michigan State and Penn State a rivalry. You cannot, that stuff has to happen organically. But yeah, man, it's going to be weird. Like, Ohio State and Penn State played every year since 1993, and it was a really good rivalry there for a while. Ohio State's owned it like the last 12 years, but for a while,
they've always been really good games.
Seriously, absolutely. I mean, think about all the time. I mean, he had the Joey Bosa, like, push the running back into the quarterback. Yeah, absolutely.
Hackenberg, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like even this past year with the goal line stand, and then they're able to like just run the clock out. Yeah. There's been so many good games. The JT Barrett
comeback.
Yeah, when he turned into like Joe Montana there. Saquon Barkley returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, like kiss of death right there.
Yeah, you
right?
guys are done.
It was like the Bears in the Super Bowl. It was like Ted Ginn in the national championship game. Like, you guys are done. And then it was like, oh, this might be the exception to that rule. And then JT Barrett turned to Joe Montana like in the fourth quarter.
I think about
his box score looked like that fourth quarter.
It was unbelievable.
I think about the 2019 game a lot just because of the Chris Olave catch at the end and Klatt's call of smooth like silk sheets on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, all of them have been traditionally
that was a very close game with a lot of turnovers in it that made it where Penn State easily could have taken it from Ohio State, but Justin Fields and the guys stepped up.
Yeah, 39-38 was the score that you were talking about, Bids.
In 2017?
It was the 2017 game. Let me go to the play-by-play real quick. Just off the top, JT Barrett's box score, 33 for 39, 328, and 4 touchdowns.
Look at that.
Is what he did. And the end of the game for JT was pretty spectacular. They were trailing 35-20 with 11 and a half minutes left to go in the fourth. All right? 35-20, 11 and a half left to go in the fourth. 2 plays, 41 yards, touchdown. Penn State tacks on a field goal, 38-27. Now with 5:42 to play, you're down 11. You go on a 5-play, 78-yard drive in a minute and 22 seconds to then cut the lead to 38-33. And then you get the ball on your own 42-yard line with 3 minutes left to go. And, of course, you get the unbelievable Marcus Ball touchdown over the middle to set up Penn State with a chance to go down the field and score a field goal to win the game, and then they can't do it.
They can't do it. And then how about, like, was it 2018? Like, Dwayne Haskins, was it Ben Victor? It looked like they were going to lose.
Yes, it was Ben Victor.
It almost kind of was like a mini Hail Mary over the middle, like a little 15, 20-yard Hail Mary over the middle. Seriously, like, Dwayne, like, threw it up for grabs, kind of. Ben Victor did not have a great career at Ohio State. Boy, that... He looked like the stud that they recruited on that play. He caught that and then took that to distance, and Ohio State won that game.
Was it Terry McLaurin blowing up like 3 Nittany Lions on that play as Ben Victor is running down the sideline? We should have known at that point, like, Terry's going to be pretty good at the next level. He was for certain. We're going to take a harder look at the Buckeye over-under win total for this season coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. fresh for everyone.
Save big on 18-ounce containers of blueberries or 12-ounce containers of raspberries. Right now, they're only $3.77 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining healthcare.
Join the Fan and 10 TV on Friday, June 27th from 11 to 6:30 to kick off the Beat the Heat Fan Drive. Purchase box fans and drop them off at the 10 TV studios on Friday, June 27th from 11 to 6:30. The Beat the Heat Fan Drive is sponsored by Newman Roofing.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town-properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hot and humid and stormy on this Wednesday. Temperatures around 90 degrees. We'll see the opportunity for more showers and thunderstorms, generally tapering off as we go through the evening. By Thursday morning, low 70s out there, warm and muggy. Scattered late-day thunderstorms again and a high near 90 on Thursday. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend this show. The other dentist is a Michigan fan. Yuck! You're listening to the Buckeye Show.
You can join us Friday night for the Blue Jackets draft special on The Fan. Bobby Mack, Dylan Tyre. They're going to be live from Nationwide Arena as the CBJ look to add some exciting new talent to the lineup. It all starts Friday at 6. And the Blue Jackets draft special sponsored by Ohio Health, only right here on The Fan, Ohio Sports Destination. Live look into Cincinnati. We'll get you there top of the 8 o'clock hour. Brady Singer in a little bit of a pickle right now. It is the top of the first inning. Jazz Chisholm is up to bat for the Yankees. 2-2 count, runners on the corners with 2 outs. So we'll see what happens here through this first inning bids, but Reds have been fun to watch this year for sure.
For sure. I mean, like 4 games over 500, and they've been hit pretty hard with injuries, and I think Tito's doing a great job. If they can get healthy, they're going to be a problem. And Brady Singer gets out of it, so they hold the Yankees to no runs in the top of the first.
I know that last night we were all excited about Chase Burns. Reimer was texting me after, like, because Murph and I got off. We were like, all right, Chase Burns going to be back up for I think it was the 3rd inning at the time, or the 4th. Like, he was mowing guys down. And then by the time I got home, it was 3-0. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
no, this isn't a good situation. And then they came back to win in extras.
You know, Murph was rooting for, definitely was rooting for the Yankees because he knows the Reds are coming for his Cardinals.
They're coming for you.
Yeah.
You better watch out.
That's
so we
right.
got that to look forward to, Murph, which is nice.
The Murph man is definitely not listening right now because he's over at the Death Star, isn't he?
He's over at lower.com field. Crew getting ready to play Atlanta this evening. 7:30 kick time, which means MLS rules, that game will kick off at 7:48. Every other soccer league in the world, they say 7:30 kick time. It means that sucker's kicking off at 7:30, and then MLS, it's about an 18-minute delay from there.
They're taking a page out of college football's book there. It's a kickoff at 8 o'clock. You mean like 8:12 or 8:18?
Let me just get on my soapbox for a little bit. And I know we did this with noon games, but can you just tell me the kickoff time? Like, just tell me that the game's going to kick off at 12:17.
Seriously, okay? I'd put that in my stories. Like, they'll say kickoff at 8 o'clock. If I know, like, we get a heads up, it's actually going to be 8:12 or whatever, I'll put that in the story, like, in parentheses, like, kickoff at 8:12.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
It's nice to know because I find myself turning on the game. A lot of Buckeye games are at noon, and I'm like, all right, noon, time to sit down in the chair. Usually we get the big boy down for a nap, like right before the noon kickoffs, which is good. And I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, it's Buckeye time. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. I've got to wait 15 minutes. What's the point? Just tell me what time the game's actually going to kick off. It shouldn't be that hard.
Right. I mean, it shouldn't be like up for a guesstimation. Like, when does this game start? How about just tell me when the game starts?
Yeah.
But I just factored in enough. You tell me, now NFL is not this way, but college football, you say it kicks off at whatever time. I basically add at least 12 minutes to that.
Yeah, NFL says the game kicks off at 1 o'clock, and they all simultaneously kick at like 1:02,
yes.
Which is fine. Like, that's good. And then they always fit their games into that 3.5 hour, 3 hour window as well. Like, always. Even with overtime games. Like, I know you'll get some stragglers that go a little long, but like 97% of NFL games always fit it within that 3 hours. I'm like, well, look at their revenue. Like, they're the most valuable sports league in the entire world. College football is selling off revenue and commercials and all kinds of good stuff. I'm like, their games last 4 hours. Can't we shrink the game a little bit? Put it into a 3 hour window.
I love how, don't love this, I'm being sarcastic. I love how in college football we're getting less plays per game, but the games are actually longer because of the commercials. Like, can we not have, and they're like, well, it's for player safety. No, it's not. Okay. It's not for player safety.
It's not. Nothing you do is for player safety. You can stop hiding it. It's fine. Baseball said, hey, we're going to invent the pitch clock. Games are to 2 hours and 15 minutes. All right?
Love it.
It's very good.
Love it.
Yeah, it's very good. I didn't love the pitch clock when it came around, but now I'm able to watch more baseball games in a less period of time, which is great.
I used to hate the fact, and I was a pitcher back in the day, but even I hated the fact that pitchers could just take as long as they wanted. You could throw to first base 12 times if you wanted with the previous rules. You could take a minute between pitches. I love that they've streamlined this where you only can throw over twice. You can throw over a third time, but if you don't pick them off, he gets to take the next base. And I love the pitch clock. These guys out there, having relations with the rosin bag between pitches. It's like, just get up there and throw the baseball. You don't need more than 30 seconds. I love the pitch clock.
No more Garcia Parra resetting behind every pitch.
Sean Casey.
46 seconds messing with the elbow guards and the wrist straps and everything. That is done. All right. Games are accelerated now. And by the way, we have less attention span than we've ever had in the past. So I saw you guys today over on Bucknuts talking about the win total. The over-under set for Ohio State at 10.5. The over coming in at plus 110, which would mean it would be the underdog in this case. The under coming in at minus 134. Now, if you actually go and look, depending on where you look at, and you go and look at 10-plus wins in the regular season, Ohio State is the second favorite to get to 10 wins in all of college football, to have at least 10 wins on the season. Ohio State is second at minus 290. Share that with Penn State at minus 290. Oregon is first at minus 310. I feel like traditionally, unless it's a team coming back that is full of stars. Like you can get to that 11.5 number sometimes. I feel like the majority of the time, though, Bids, like upper echelon teams in college football, that number is always set at 10.5.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like last year was the exception to the rule because even Ohio State was saying natty or bust. So like their over-under last year was 11.5, and obviously they went 10-2. Yeah, I find it fascinating this year because it is a tough schedule. We all know about the first game of the season and the last game of the regular season with Texas and then Michigan. But like obviously Penn State here in Columbus going at Illinois. Illinois was 10-3 last year. I think they're going to be better than what they were last year. They have their veteran quarterback coming back.
They've got a lot of praise.
Yeah, and speaking of like gambling, like I can't believe Illinois, their over-under beamer is 7.5 wins.
That's a weird one.
I would love to take in fact, I'll take the over on that because I think I have them at 9-3, so you could go 8-4 and still win that bet. But yeah, you're right. With Ohio State, you look at the schedule, even games like at Wisconsin, we know Luke has not done a good job there. I don't know why he decided he was going to go air raid. Now they've brought it back. They're going to do traditional, but he's in year 3. I don't think they're going to be good. But like, that's not something that you would just be like, that's an automatic win. Going to Camp Randall, even Washington, they were better than I thought in year 1 of the Jed Fish era because they lost pretty much every offensive player they had from that team that went to the national championship game, including Michael Penix. They were decent last year. They've got a good young quarterback. Again, I think Ohio State's going to be fine when they go to Seattle, but that's another game you wouldn't say that's a lock. So even you got
not the way that was at least Washington fans are treating that on social media. You see that a couple weeks ago? Like, I can't wait for Ohio State to come out here. I'm like, all right, let's pump the brakes for a second. All right, let's just chill out.
Be careful what you wish for, type of thing.
Yeah. Chill out, Tom Castellanos. Like quarterback down there at Florida State. Like, let's just relax for a second. Wait till you get to that game.
Yeah, but I mean, like at Illinois, at Wisconsin, at Washington. I mean, like you could slip up in one of those games, and then you have Texas, Penn State, Michigan. I would take the over. I'm going to stay away from that one because I could see them. I don't think they're going to be. I mean, I could see them being 10-2. They're not going to be 9-3. I think 12-0. That would be really tough with this schedule, young team.
Well, and I had to bet, quarterback with no experience.
Exactly. I think they're going to be 11-1. So I guess if I had to bet, I would take the over. But 11-1 or 10-2 is what I see for this team. Regardless, I think they're going to be in the CFP. Just beat. People have asked me this, Beamer, like what would constitute a successful season for Ohio State this year? To me. Obviously, the goals never change. You want to beat Michigan, win the Big Ten, win the national championship.
Standard
I get
is
that.
The standard.
Exactly. But, like, you tell me right now, Ohio State beats Michigan and makes the CFP. That's a successful season in my book.
100%.
Let the chips fall where they may after that. But if you beat Michigan, you make the CFP, successful season, especially the year after winning a natty.
I agree with that wholeheartedly because you see what this team did when their backs were up against the wall last year, and it was a special run. And frankly, I think it's unfair to ask them to do that again, given all the changes on their team. Like last year's team, I think that was very fair to put those expectations on them because all of college football was talking about, well, look how much NIL Ohio State is spending. I'm like, well, 80% of that was for the retainment of all of these guys coming back for their last years here to college football. And yeah, you went out in the transfer portal and you got some dudes. You got Julian Sand, who maybe we'll see this year, maybe we won't. Maybe Lincoln Kienholz is going to give him a shot when we get to fall camp. You got Caleb Downs, of course. That was a huge one. Nobody's arguing about that. You got Quinshon Judkins, right? Like you got Will Kazmarek. Like you did a lot in the NIL world, in the transfer portal. But I thought it was fair to lop those expectations on Ohio State last year. This year, I'm in a very different boat. I'm agreeing with you. I think the bare minimum is beating Michigan, getting into the college football playoff. Like, if you do that, I'm happy. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, house money at that point. Now, if they do that, obviously, if they lose in the first round or if they get to the get a bye, get to the quarterfinals, are we going to be happy that they lost? No. But like overall, you beat Michigan, make the CFP the year after winning a natty with this young team. Like that is a successful season. And hopefully, if you're an Ohio State fan, they can not only make the CFP but make a deep run, maybe win the national title. Ohio State's never gone back to back ever. And
Crazy,
only one Ohio State coach has ever won multiple national championships, that being Woody Hayes. So can Ryan Day become the first one to ever go back to back? I would love it. But I would bet against it. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult to do, especially now. Like, it's not just like, oh, the AP poll is going to dole out, your national championship for you, or you have to play one more game 50 days after the season has ended, or however long we got from, championship weekend to then playing the games back in the BCS era. And it's not even 2 games anymore. Like, it's the possibility of 4 extra games onto your season, and it's never been more difficult. So yeah, it's a tough task ahead for Ohio State, but I'm with you. Beat Michigan, college football playoff. Let's get it done. Where does Ohio Stadium rank as some of the toughest places to play in the country? We'll get into that in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with ONE+. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for your daily dose of vitamin B. B stands for Buckeyes, just in case that wasn't clear. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Now, let me ask you this question. Did you jump in on Awaken 180's Lose 40 by the 4th challenge? Well, if you did, congrats. Hitting a 40-pound goal in less than 2 months deserves serious celebration. Speaking from experience, I dropped double digits my very first week on Awaken 180. I think it was 12 pounds in week number 1. And in just over 3 months, all 70 pounds were gone. Poof. Total game changer for me, and the results, they came fast. Now, if you haven't jumped on board yet, no worries. There's still plenty of summer left for you to lose 30, 40, or even 100 pounds. I'm not saying you're going to drop 40 pounds next week, but listen, if you have the same week 1 results that I had, you're definitely going to be on your way. Set your sights to August. Think summer barbecues, golf, the beach with your shirt off. Every bit of it fits into your new Awaken 180 lifestyle. Lose weight, love summer, and thank me later. Start today at awaken180weightloss.com, the official weight loss program of summer. I got a video today from Meredith. These guys, they're still up in Michigan, which is nice. They're staying through the 4th of July, so it's been very weird for me. I've chronicled my details of just being home by myself with the dog for the last 9 days. It's very strange, very quiet house. And I told, I believe it was DeVere last Wednesday, that I make it a point to jump into Lake Michigan every year. Even if it's 50 degrees, which it was when I jumped in. Meredith, she jumped in last week, and then William took the plunge today. Went under. I'm like, all right. She sent me a video of it. Dunked his head and everything. So now the whole family, Bids, has taken the plunge, and I know you were spending some time up there. Did you get into a Great Lakes water? Did you dabble in that?
I did. I should probably turn my mic on. Yes. So our backyard was basically Lake Huron. We had a little bit of grass in the backyard. Then it was just sand right into Lake Huron. And people were saying, why are you going up to the Upper Peninsula in June? It's going to be freezing. You're not going to get in the water. Well, we got lucky. The weather was actually in the 70s that week. Not that the water was warm, but yes, I got in Lake Huron. So did my youngest. And yes, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's like the best cup of coffee you can have in your life, because you do feel refreshed and energized after you do it. It is no fun during the time, but afterwards you feel alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic for sure. No doubt about it. And our body does. It took me a minute. Usually it's more like 30 seconds, but this is extra cold. But after a minute, it just feels normal. It's crazy how fast our body adjusts to cold water and stuff like that. Yeah, don't stay in there too long, though, because that might be dangerous to you. Are you excited for the new EA Sports college football game, Bids? Did you dabble in it last year when it made its, 12-year return off a hiatus? I didn't. I would love to, because I used to play it all the time. I just don't have time to play. I love video games. I just don't have time to play them anymore. But, eventually, going to be like the retired guy who's like playing video games all the time, getting back to my childhood. But like, no, I didn't get into it last year. I used to play the college football game when it was called Bill Walsh's college football back in the day.
Sound like a Sega Genesis?
We'd play like in the dorms at Ohio State. We would have like, it would get pretty intense in there. But I used to love all those games, man. But like, no, I did not do it last year. I saw Jeremiah Smith as the only one with a perfect rating. Is that correct?
That is correct. 99 rating for Jeremiah Smith. And if there was one player in college football that you were going to hand that out to that deserved it, it would probably be Jeremiah Smith. I saw Caleb Downs was a 98 ranking too. So you have the best 1 and 2 punch combo in college football.
Caleb Downs is like, what do I got to do to get that 99?
Yeah.
He's like
his live in-form version after he returns a punt against Texas will shoot up to 100. I think that will do just fine. Either that or a pick 6 against Arch Manning. If you had to wager the vast Biddle estate on a pick 6 against Arch Manning against Texas or a punt return for Caleb Downs, where are you going?
I'll go pick 6.
Or a Jeremiah Smith, like 3 touchdown performance.
I'll go Jeremiah Smith 3 touchdown performance. Actually, Texas has shown that they will like go out of their way to shut him down. Like they were doing like double cut, and then Carnell Tate had like 90 yards like in the first quarter.
It decently worked for them. All right, they got to the last 2 minutes of the game, punching on the doorstep with an opportunity to tie the football game, which I'm very excited for that game coming up here. But yeah, if I had to go with one of those, I probably. If you're offering me anything on the JJ line, I'm probably taking Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
I did see the new college football game. By the way, it took me, as we were talking about everything, just video games and Northern Michigan experiences during the summer, it took me that entire time to scroll down and find this list of toughest places to play in the new game in college football, because you could spend 4 hours reading all the updates on this game. So I'm excited about it. I'll be playing it. They do have the toughest places to play in college football. Now, I don't know how true this is. I haven't been to a lot of these destinations, but I do think it's interesting given the fact that you do have a lot of computer nerds and college football nerds in conjunction, like trying to make this game as real as possible. Number 1 toughest stadium to play in the new game is LSU Tiger Stadium. We've heard about it from the college football world in its entirety, that a night game there in prime time, they have created earthquakes before. That's why they call it Death Valley. Like that. Okay. I'm all right with LSU being named number 1, because I feel like consistently you talk to people talking about college football atmospheres, that always comes out number 1, LSU.
I totally agree with that. Like this year, I think we have Death Valley versus Death Valley, right? Is Clemson going to LSU, or I think it's vice versa?
I think LSU's going to Clemson. So you have,
and
that's the opener, right?
Death Valley going to Death Valley. Which is the better Death Valley? I think we're saying LSU is, right? But both are tough. Ohio State played LSU. There was a home and home. It was the last year that Earl Bruce was the head coach, and then the first year of Cooper. So in '87 they played at LSU. They tied, and then the first year of the Cooper era, they came up here to Columbus, and Ohio State had a nice comeback. So, yeah, man,
I'd like to get a shot to go down there.
That'd be cool.
I would like that. And you've got Bama on the schedule coming up. You've got Georgia on the schedule coming up, which I don't know if those games will be on the schedule, given the circumstances in college football with all the bickering going back and forth between the Big Ten and the SEC. But I think it was last week, Bids, DeVere and I were talking about, like, all right, if the SEC goes to 9 games and the Big Ten stays at 9 games, just build in a Big Ten versus SEC game each year against an opponent, and I would be okay, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, do a home and home, do a home and home, make it a 2-year series where
like Ohio State and Texas,
and Ohio State and
Alabama, like you were saying,
and Ohio State and Georgia. Just do that, like that would be fun. One time at home, one time on the road, bring up, I don't know, every 28 years or however long this runs through, you get a home and home with Vanderbilt, like whatever. They're still in the SEC, but I think that would be cool. A definite college football bucket lister for LSU Tiger Stadium down there in at number 1. Number 2, Beaver Stadium, Penn State. I've said this before and I'll say it again too. It's one of the loudest places I've ever been. When it's a night game, whiteout, it's the only time that I've ever been there. But that is well worth every bit of its ranking as the number 2 toughest place in college football.
No doubt about it. The whiteout is no joke, as we all know. I mean, Ohio State's had pretty good fortune over there for the most part. I do love Jim Tressel. I believe it was 2009 when he was asked about the whiteout. He was like, I thought the white was for us. We were the ones wearing white. It was great. And then in the post-game press conference, Jim Tressel had he was low-key to talk a little crap, in his own classy way. If that makes any sense.
I also think that it's more difficult if you wear white during the whiteout because you just can't see. You have no depth perception because it is a sea of white. So maybe Penn State knows exactly what they're doing and playing mind games with you. But yeah, it was a good job out of Tress. Number 3, Ohio Stadium, the Horseshoe, toughest places to play in college football.
Are you surprised to see that? Because it has a kind of a.
It's got a little bit of a vibe to it right now, doesn't it? When you talk about the crowd at Ohio Stadium. No, I'm saying what you were putting down. It's got a little bit of it can be a better atmosphere. It's a cathedral of college football, but maybe or not. There is a bit of a wine and cheese crowd associated with Ohio Stadium right now.
Yeah, I always say there's going to be a game or two every year where it's just completely crazy. Ohio Stadium delivers. I can name many games. I think 95 Notre Dame, many even 05 Texas is a great example. Even Ohio State lost that game. There are certain games where it's just the atmosphere at Ohio Stadium is fantastic. Tennessee this past year. Mm-hmm. Then there's games. I'm not even talking about when they're playing a MAC school or something or a bad opponent. There could be a decent Big Ten team come in here, and it is, man. It's a wine and cheese crowd. So how can Ohio State have that? You're not always going to have a killer atmosphere. You're not always going to be playing at Texas.
Sometimes it'll be a little sleepy.
Yeah, okay? It will be. But they need to do something to enhance it. And I think Ross Bjork is all over that. I love everything. I think Ross Bjork right now is the perfect AD for Ohio State. With everything they're trying to do with NIL, he gets it. Trying to upgrade Ohio Stadium, he gets it. So I think he was we've been very fortunate. If you're an Ohio State fan, you've been very fortunate to have Andy Geiger, Gene Smith, and now Ross Bjork. I mean, those are 3 really good athletic directors. Andy Geiger, I tell you what, man, one of the gutsiest things I've ever seen. You had heavy hitters, Beamer, that all wanted Glenn Mason to be the head coach at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. And Andy Geiger was like, I'm going to hire this Jim Tressel guy instead. And people that were heavy hitters did not like that. And
worked out okay.
Those people now agree that was a great hire. But Andy Geiger was awesome. Gene Smith did a great job, and I think Ross Bjork's going to do a great job here.
It's funny you said that because when I was hosted with Tim A, I believe on Monday, he was saying the exact same thing. Right time, right place. Ross is the guy for the job. Other 5 toughest stadiums in college football, according to the new EA Sports game. You get Sanford Stadium for the Georgia Bulldogs at number 4, and then Bryant-Denny Stadium, Alabama, at number 5. I can't really say that I've heard much about Georgia and Alabama being tough places to play, but given the results in the past history, I would also be an indicator that is an extremely difficult place to play because not a lot of people go in there and beat them.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if it's tough to play because of the atmosphere or just they're really, really, really good at football. I'm surprised Clemson isn't on there.
Clemson's number 6.
Okay. So they're okay.
They're right outside the top 5.
There you
go. Florida is at number 7. Oklahoma, which I thought was really good when Ohio State visited back there in the day. I was lucky enough to go to that game. That was an incredible atmosphere.
The Noah Brown game.
Yeah, the Noah Brown 4 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
And the behind-the-back catch. The basic defense. Yeah, everything about it. Jerome Baker had a heck of a game.
Yes, Big 6.
And I'm surprised that Autzen is as low on the list because every Ohio State fan or media member that you talk to going out there to Oregon this past year said it shattered their expectations, and it was one of the loudest places they've ever been.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's not higher. I mean, it's not a big stadium, but it's loud as heck. It's dug into the ground, and I think it holds just over 50,000, but man, it sounds like it holds 150,000. I'm surprised Oregon's not higher. Frankly, I hate to say this. Maybe I shouldn't say it in Columbus, Ohio. I'd probably put Oregon over Ohio State as far as home atmosphere.
If you're saying a consistent level or just an actual big primetime game level. Because I think when it's a primetime game and the Ohio State crowd has been challenged to get up into the atmosphere, there is no problem during big games at all with
Tennessee,
the crowd.
Right, with the lunatic fringe.
Yeah, even the Indiana crowd this past year was great. Butts were in seats at noon. That game had everything that you want. It's just when I feel like Ohio State fans are getting pushed around, be it's not that tough an environment. It's okay. Watch this. Watch what we can do. You think that this is going to be a quiet place? No, thanks.
That's the thing about Tennessee fans. I get it. They thought Ohio State was down, but Ohio State has the largest fan base in college football. We know this, right?
So it's inarguable.
You're going to make it you're going to go public and be yeah, we're going to take over their stadium. It's okay. There's a phrase called you don't want to tug on Superman's cape, right? You want to kick a dog when he's sleeping. Just that was not the way to. If I was Tennessee, I would have been coming in hopefully we can hang with Ohio State. Not we're going to go take over Ohio Stadium. We're going to nickname it Neyland North. I tell you what, man, it was about, 5 minutes into that game. They were showing some of those Tennessee fans. They're showing Josh Heupel. I was like, oh, boy, what did we get into here? Yeah, you just woke up the sleeping giant is what happened.
Also, 90 minutes before kickoffs, ripping your shirts off. Like, don't do that, okay?
What are you doing?
Don't do it. I know that you want to be tough. Just maybe stop poking the bear a little bit. And then we turned out and see how that game was. And it was just fine from a Buckeye perspective. We'll do #Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Do your good-looking shoes hurt and you don't want to wear ugly shoes? At the Good Feet store, we can help you wear your heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
For over 30 years, Schumacher Homes has been building affordable custom homes throughout the Buckeye State. Experience true customization on your land, your way, without any compromises. Come visit any of our 9 Ohio model home and design studio locations to see the latest in design trends and learn about our award-winning building process, or start online at SchumacherHomes.com. You'll be surprised how affordable a custom home will be. Schumacher Homes, proud home building sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Cowan Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain inter-office emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I've been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Open a money market account at Kemba Financial Credit Union and enjoy a 4.00% APY intro rate until April 2026, 6 times the national average. Maintain easy access to your funds and secure financial stability. Don't miss out. Offer expires July 31st, 2025. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Advantage status and $5,000 minimum and $1 million maximum deposit required. APY equals annual percentage yield. Comparison based on FDIC average. Federally insured by NCUA.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Get you Cincinnati coming up here at 8 o'clock. Current situation for the Redlegs. They are down 1-0.
And now they're down 3-0.
They're down 3-0 as Jazz Chisholm just rocked Brady Singer. So currently 3-0. They're trailing, top of the third, no outs. So they got that to look forward to, which is nice. As Bids throws his Reds hat. Hey, they were down 3-0 last night.
It's all good. No, house money. I was just doing that for effect. Like, seriously. You tell me coming into this series they were going to win 2 out of 3. I'd have been over the moon. I guess we'll let the Yankees win 1, Beamer.
Yeah, I think they're going to come back. They got a little magic to them right now.
I'm with that. We need to not give up like 500-foot home runs to Jazz Chisholm now.
I mean,
that was not a great American.
As soon as I was saying that it's 1-0, I'm like looking at the ball go out. I'm like, well, that's a pretty big no-doubter, and it's 3-0. Yeah, so we'll get you that coming up. Top of the 8 o'clock hour. Are you watching that, or are you watching the NBA draft tonight? I know what Reimer's locked in on.
It depends on like how this game goes. Like I was planning on watching the Reds and like having like the NBA draft like on background. It might be the reverse of that if the Reds get down like 6-0. But yeah, you're right. I mean, like I just feel good about where the Reds are at right now. Even if they lose this game, they're 3 games over 500 if they lose. Halfway mark of the season. They're over-under for wins, Beamer, 78.5.
Okay.
All right, so if they lose tonight, they're on pace for what, 84 wins this season?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. So if they go 70, if you bet the over of the Reds win total, they could go 79-83, and you win that bet. And I actually know some people who maybe have invested on the over.
Yeah, just a few of them. By the way, Gardo's in action against the Blue Jays, 3-1. They're up in the top of the 5th. So Guards winning, Reds losing currently. Reds only 4.5 back right now in the National League Central. So, and the Cubs are leading the Central, and I saw that they've allowed 56 runs over the last 6 games. There's something crazy. So, still haven't hit the All-Star break. We'll reassess when we get there. But yeah, currently a nice little Reds fun season that we're having. Reimer, we got the NBA draft coming up here tonight. What's the most important / interesting storyline as we get to the NBA draft, and why is it the fact that the Brooklyn Nets have like 6 first-round draft picks?
Yeah, they've made lots of moves to pick up a ton of first-round picks. It's actually insane. But will they use some of those picks to move up and draft Ace Bailey, or will Ace Bailey slide?
If I'm the Nets, I just stockpile picks. Yeah. Now, then again, though, the East is kind of up for grabs. The West is it's ridiculous.
Oh, no, Avalanche.
I was going to say, the Cavs, to me, obviously they were the best. Well, they weren't the best team in the East. The Pacers were. But, during the regular season, obviously the Cavs were the best team. Now with Halliburton's injury, Tatum's injury, the door is wide open for the Cavs next year. I hope they can get it done. And I'm not, a huge Cavs fan. I grew up a Bulls fan. It's hard to root for the Bulls these days, but I want the Cavs to do well, and I think they're going to be a big problem next year. Hopefully they can stay healthy. That really cost them against the Pacers, obviously.
It did, and then the Pacers went on to almost win an NBA championship. Yeah. And we talk about alternate realities I would like to live in, one where Tyrese Halliburton doesn't rupture his Achilles within the first few minutes of the game.
When he's on fire, no less, right?
Oh, he was incredible these playoffs, so speedy recoveries to him. Saw this from Ohio State today, Bids. The Ohio State women's basketball team will travel to the Bahamas the week of Thanksgiving to play in the 2025 Baha Mar Hoops Pink Flamingo Championships. Buckeye is one of 8 teams that will play there down in Baha Mar. Teams will play in a pair of 4 divisions, with games taking place Monday the 24th and Wednesday the 26th. The other teams competing, Alabama, Belmont, Harvard, Minnesota, South Florida, and West Virginia, while one additional team will soon round out the field. Finalized matchup game times and streaming information will be announced later. Debbie Antonelli, college basketball analyst and event contributor, said this: "We're excited and proud to showcase a top tier of hoops in the Bahamas once again as we continue to grow and expand the women's game and our events. I'm known for saying The product is the narrative because we create opportunities to compete and the players and coaches deliver. Teams are returning truly because they trust the sports group that's in charge to deliver another first-class event in an incredible destination location. And rest assured, it will be entertaining given the quality of competition. Yeah, I mean, I was always jealous of those guys, whether it was Ronnie and Paul or Matt Andrews or Marty Bannister. Like, I was always jealous of those guys to be able to get away and go do something like that on Thanksgiving week.
I was just about to say, like, note to self, ask my boss if I can cover Ohio State women's basketball late this calendar year. Maybe not the entire season, but certainly like because there's nothing else going on in November, right? I mean, is that for Ohio State football? I'm pretty much off that month. But seriously, and I think like the Bahamas Bowl, I always thought that should be a New Year's Six Bowl.
Didn't they move the Bahamas Bowl like either last year or a couple of years? It's like the Bahamas Bowl in Charlotte. I'm like, well, no. Don't do that.
No, I mean, you're in the general direction from Ohio, but no, come on. Did they really do that? They had the Bahamas Bowl. Is this because of COVID?
No, it wasn't because of COVID, but it was literally just.
Oh, maybe it was like they had like a hurricane or something?
No, it was because the Bahamas, like the country sponsors it. Like the Bahamas tourism director, like that, it's the money for the bowl sponsorship title. But for whatever reason, that game wasn't played in the Bahamas. So you're right. I don't know if it was like stadium construction or what, but I was very confused. I'm like, Bahamas Bowl in Charlotte.
It's always like the MAC third place team. It's not even the MAC champion or the MAC runner up. It's like the MAC third place team against the like Sun Belt fourth team or something. It's like that should be a big bowl.
Yes.
The Bahamas Bowl should be a big bowl in my opinion.
It should be that and the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I've been on record saying the Pop-Tarts Bowl, give that sucker a college football playoff spot. You know, to hell with the Cotton Bowl. We don't need to see Jerry World again. I want to see the Pop-Tart be eaten by an Ohio State player, and not in a capacity in which it's a meaningless bowl game, but in a capacity in which it's a college football playoff game.
Yeah, we have to incorporate the Pop-Tarts Bowl with the CFP.
Yeah,
why not? Especially if you're going to expand the CFP, get the Pop-Tarts Bowl in there.
Pop-Tarts, you have enough money. You can do that. All right, let's throw your weight around. We were talking about Ross Bjork and Ohio State throwing your weight around. Throw that breakfast pastry weight around, okay? You have been dominating that game for eons.
Are you have to toast the Pop-Tart, or do you eat it raw?
I can raw dog a Pop-Tart.
I can go either way, right?
If you're feeling luxurious, though, you can throw it into the toaster.
Yes,
but I think for the majority, like if you just rip it out of that packet and then raw dog it, you're fine.
Yeah, I've done both many times.
I think you're fine. Either one. Now, are you a cinnamon sugar guy, like a brown sugar, or are you like a fruit flavored?
I'm a strawberry, like,
okay.
I'm with that strawberry, like, yeah, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It's not really like icing, is it? I guess it is. Yeah, I want that strawberry icing on top of my Pop-Tart.
Either jelly or jam or some sort of confectionery goodness in the middle.
It's definitely healthy.
Oh, yeah.
You can definitely tell it's very healthy.
I like how we've just named things blue raspberries. I'm like, raspberries are not blue. Like they are not blue in natural color at all.
Yeah, they're like, what, like black?
Yeah,
purple?
black, purple.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, they're not
purple
blue.
berries.
Yeah, they're not blue. I call them blue raspberry. What's your favorite food flavor? Blue. And everybody knows what blue tastes like. Bids, I had a great time tonight. We got Murph actually back in the saddle tomorrow, so the Bucknuts week will continue. But I believe you're hosting Friday with Bake Show?
Yeah, doing Bishop and Friends on Friday. Yep.
All right, perfect. Well, Bids, thanks for hanging out tonight. We'll see you at some point down in the future. We'll get you down to Cincinnati for some Reds baseball coming up next. Murph Dog in tomorrow. Everybody have a fantastic night. Talk to you tomorrow at 6. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited.